Welcome to the Dresden Nexus podcast, recorded live from the 2025 Dresden Nexus Conference. I'm your host, Atika Saleh, and today we're joined by Her Royal Highness Princess Dr. Abze Djigma of Burkina Faso. This year marks a special occasion as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the United Nations University. Throughout this series, we'll explore the future of resources and how navigating the interconnected challenges of water, energy, food, land, and other resources, the resource nexus, will shape our path toward a sustainable world. In this episode, we'll hear from Her Royal Highness Princess Djigma, who will share her invaluable insights. Thank you for joining us today. Let's dive into the conversation. Given your position as a Mossi princess and traditional leader, how do traditional leadership structures contribute to advancing the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and what synergies exist between traditional and modern governance systems?
Thank you very much, Tika, for having me, and allow me to also congratulate you on your leadership, walking the talk with the Nexus, with the UNU Flores here and Dresden. So this is a question that is really close to my heart. Tradition and modernity, they are one coin, when we transition. It's just the transitioning of our lives. Traditional authorities have been existed for millennia. And all over the world, depending, no matter where you are in this globe, you're coming from somewhere, from a local community that has rulers and who knows how to rule, how to lead with respect to their fellows. And they are at the service of their communities. And I think that the modern society also built their constitution on that. And I think that it might be fair also to recognize the role of the traditional authorities. We're talking about nexuses on resources. We have been managing resources and sharing resources in a fair manner. I think that technology also has learning from the past. And I often used to say that old fashion is fashion. And the scientific, the academia, they're learning from that, the principles, and taking it from there, building on it. And I think that there is no conflicts. Actually, it's finding the way to build on each other knowledge, to build on the values, and to move forward. That would be my take on that one. But really a fantastic question, and I love the conversation today with you.
Excellent. And I think we are extremely honored as well to have someone who also walks the talk, we think. Now, as Burkina Faso's ambassador for renewable energy and energy efficiency, how do you navigate the challenges of promoting sustainable energy in regions with limited infrastructure? And what successes have you achieved?
Yeah, but you're touching really something that is critical. Without energy, we can't have growth, even as depending on our life. I'm coming from a continent where you have energy access issues, taking all Africa, we're still lacking access to energy, access to clean cook stove. More than 1 billion cannot access to clean cook stove. This is a critical issue when we talk about women empowerment, unleashing the potential of our youth. How can we do that if we don't have energy? And I think that renewable energy offers that opportunity to democratize also growth and making sure that everyone can access to that new way of growing itself and having income while transitioning. In some countries they are transitioning, but in our case in Africa, my case in Burkina Faso, it's about access to energy. And walking the talk myself, I started from a need. In the village where I come, where there were no electricity at all, and the kids and myself, I made my homework with wood so that I have weak lungs as we speak today. So then nobody need to explain to me. I know how it's meant. And then I created a solar lantern to support the kids to make their homework at night, because that's the only way to empower themselves. When you're empowered, when you know how to read, write, you can support your own parents. You can help them, guide them through administration stuff. And yourself, you are a PhD candidate, a doctorate, so you are our pride. You know, parents, even we don't know how to read or write, we know the importance of sending our kids to school. That is the real empowerment. If we really want to unleash the potential of women, of young girls, we need definitely to send them to school. And energy is a catalyst. It's a catalyst for everything. It's a catalyst where we also can leverage funds to grow economy. Renewable, and in Africa we have a lot of mineral resources, which is the case of the conference that we're in today. So it's a matter of seeing how we can leverage on those resources that energy transition need, and also to make sure that we are benefiting on that and using it as an underlying guarantee to make sure that we can bring it at scale. Scaling up, that is important. This is part of means of implementation, with capacity building, technology transfer, and access to at a low cost of finance. This is the points that is really will be good to look at it as we go with energy access in our country.
I love it. I love what you mentioned with the democratization of growth and also democratizing knowledge systems. It's great.
Thank you very much.
Now, with your extensive involvement in international climate initiatives, what is your vision for Africa's role in global sustainability efforts, and how can the continent balance economic growth with environmental stewardship?
I think it's a very good question. Thank you again for it. Of course, we are facing climate threat, and climate threat is everywhere. In our continent, we already investing on adaptation. When your population has a floods, has a government, you don't have the choice. You need to support to bring that emergency at the first place. That is means as you're bringing that emergency to face the climate threat, you don't invest on health, on education. So this is, I think that as a negotiator for my country, and also lead coordinator for adaptation committee for the G77 in China, our role is to make sure that developed country walking the talk on putting on the table what has been legally adopted by the Paris Agreement. And means of implementation was part of it. Finance was part of it. But as we speak now, it's still not happening. There is reports from UNEP to regard how many financial flows is coming into to Africa. It's really peanuts. How can we implement the technologies that is coming out of academia? Because there is a lot of technologies that we can apply. But how are we getting to invest in those technologies to make sure that we can implement it and save lives? So you have the early warning system. The challenges here is how we bring a holistic thinking, because sometimes siloing topics is not helpful. I think that, and I like the idea of Nexus of the Dresden University, thinking out of the box, having those youth who has another way of thinking. That will definitely my participation of this conference give some flesh to the skeleton of transition that we're talking about. There is concrete examples that we can build on. We don't need to start from scratch. We can learn from the mistakes of the others from centuries ago. They didn't do it on purpose because the technology were not there. So we can learn as developing countries how the developed countries are mitigating now the mistake that has been done in the past. Whether it is in the mining sector and health sector, how they conceptualize and moving and growing at the same time. But Africa and other part of the earth and Asia, what they call the global south. So anyway, the globe is round. For me, I don't know what is global north or south anyway. If you put a little...
It's arbitrary.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that the solutions are there, and we need ambition. We need the drive and the will, the people who are willing to be at the forefront and to implement. And those who are willing to implement, they are the youth. We have a lot of young people who has that drive, that belief to implement, because they don't want themselves to face what is happening with their own kids, their own grandkids. In my tradition, every child is an ancestor, so that we have a due respect. Then we having that due respect. I'm taking care of you as my ancestor to close the loop until your tooth grow, and you will take care of me until I lose my tooth. So that is and that how if we have that mindset, so that for the well-being and putting human ourselves at the center, so then it make a lot of difference. Then there is the business case here is the well-being. What do we want? What are our dreams? And we take it from there. And I think that we can walk the talk together and respect one another. We are different, but put respect in the middle.
Beautiful. Now, if I have to challenge you in one word,
yes,
what do we need most to secure a bright resource future?
I think that is sometimes we take things for granted. You take you wake up in the morning, you turn the tap. You can make it a little bit warm or a little bit cooler. So we need to think, what are the process behind and who's behind that allows me to enjoy it? And I should be grateful on that and be thankful.
Nice. So I take it your one word would be gratitude.
Gratitude.
Beautiful. Thank you, Your Highness, for sharing your expertise as well as your vision on such a critical topic. It's conversations like these that help shape and reimagine the future of resources and sustainability, and also lineage. I think that's also what you touched upon. We hope you enjoyed this episode and that it sparked new ideas, some inspiration perhaps on how we can all contribute to a more sustainable and equitable future. Stay tuned for more episodes on the Dresden Nexus podcast, where thought leaders from around the world come together to explore solutions to the resource nexus. Until next time, I'm H.R.H, and thank you for listening.